right, welcome down again to Soft TV. Man, FGL here. Fantastic Sunday afternoon. We've got a bumper episode today. 4 artists coming on later. We've got Andre and Tell. We've got Hidden Secret, Kevin Ghosty coming on as well. And we've got a cameo appearance by Lung. But right now in the studio, I grew up playing music with this guy. We would like to have a warm welcome for Boni de Souza and friends. So welcome Boni and everybody. Welcome to Soft TV this afternoon. I hope you guys are having a good time so far.
We are indeed, Farid. Thank you very much for inviting us.
It's our pleasure, our absolute pleasure to have you. And before we start, do you want to actually introduce the members of your band?
Of course. By the way, there was a smoking solo on guitar.
Thanks very much, Boni.
Right. Okay, we've got wonderful percussionist and drummer. We've got Nick Osman on drums, and he plays usually when we do live gigs. He does either drums or percussions. He's an all-round percussion and drummer. And of course, another member of the team here is the wonderful bass player Azman on bass. And a funny story, when we got together, he told me that he knew me through his mom and dad. So I said, Mom and Dad? Then I realized that his mom and dad were musicians I worked with. My God, that makes me feel old, man. Azman on bass. And of course, my wife Wendy, who has been my muse in music, and also has been in partnership with me in a lot of various music projects. And Wendy has been featured in a lot of albums as a sessionist. She played with Jackie Chung. She did an album with Teresa Teng and quite a lot of Asian superstars. And today she's with me, I'm glad, on this take. And of course, later we'll have a special guest, but I'll leave it to Farid.
Yes, we'll be seeing the next generation of the De Souza musical dynasty coming a bit later on. Big surprise for you guys. But let's go back and let's go back to the first song. What was the title of the first song, Boni?
All right, the first song was the title track of our album. You want to show it, or you want me to show it?
Yeah, you
yeah,
can.
Okay, I have it also here. Yeah.
Okay.
This is something that I recorded in 2000. It's called ODV. And okay, it's crooked.
Yeah, we get it.
Oh yeah, ODV. Yeah, okay, that's me over there, and my smiley face. ODV, which simply means water of life or essence of life.
Wow.
And this whole project was about being inspired to record my original compositions. And during that time when, in 2000, I was working for the past 5-6 years at a place called the Four Seasons Hotel, right on Orchard Road. And I had a wonderful team with me of musicians. We had the legendary Victor Gaskin from the USA, double bass extraordinaire, and also a wonderful drummer who was a seasoned musician in Singapore, working with the orchestras and also in MediaCorp. His name was Sanip Ismail.
I remember seeing that picture, very famous picture you had of it. Do you yeah.
Yes.
There's a picture of Sanip and Victor Gaskin, Grammy winner Sanip, who's been like playing for, and unfortunately both of them are not with us anymore.
That's a very, very sad thing, because Sanip did our last concert with us at the Botanic Gardens when we did a jazz show for the National Arts Council. And that video was a happening video where he stood up and soloed. I have great respect for Sanip Ismail. He's been with me for quite a number of years doing gigging, and especially at the Four Seasons with Victor Gaskin, myself, and we had also Wendy on flute at the Four Seasons. And in this album, you want to talk about this album?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Okay, in this album, we had another great musician, guitarist, Farid Ali, who's also the late Farid Ali, sad to say. So looks like I am the only one left.
Like a bit like that movie, Back to the Future. All your musicians are disappearing.
I used to joke with some friends when I look at the album. I said, "You look at this album, all the guys are gone." And it's as if like Back to the Future, they're slowly fading away, and I'm the only one. So I'm getting a little worried now.
Well, anyway, we're glad that you're here, and the thing is, Boni, we've gone along. We've gone a long way back.
Yes.
And what we want to know actually is how did it all start for you, right from the beginning? How did music come about for you?
From the beginning, okay. I started off as a young kid who was asked to do piano lessons.
Okay.
Yeah. My mom, actually my eldest brother Dudley, was the one that encouraged us when he came back from the States after his studies. He was studying literature in the States, and when he came back in the 60s, That's how long ago I go back to. Yeah, when he came back in the 60s, he told my mom, he said, you must give Boni music lessons, get him to. So my mom went to buy a piano. At first she wasn't so keen, so she bought a second-hand piano just to try out, to see whether I could really go into the music.
Right.
And my dad used to bring me for piano lessons somewhere near Newton. We were staying just near Newton, so he'd walk me to the teacher's home in Newton, and we have our piano lessons. And then after that, I look forward not to the piano lessons, but I look forward to after that going to the famous Newton Kway Teow. So that was the wonderful experience that I had during the piano lessons.
So in other words, were you musically inclined at all?
I was to a certain extent, because when I was young, I used to try to entertain the family.
Okay.
Because my brother played guitar and all that, I'll take the ukulele and they put me, and I will just fool around and try to entertain the family. So I had, I guess, in the inklings of an entertainer from young. But let me tell you, I was a very shy kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only at home I was, I was in my own world, and I was, all out. But when I'm with people, and you can ask some of my classmates in school, in primary and secondary school, I was a very shy kid.
Okay. So when was your first public performance, as a child or whenever?
As a child, as I told you, I was a very shy kid. So I shied away from public performances, especially even though my mom wanted me to perform in the church or whatever, but I would shy away from it.
Okay.
But only in secondary school, I began to pick up music from the radio and try some pop songs, because I was trained in classical music.
Okay.
Yeah, so all that I experienced was in the classical era. But when I began to play songs, like in those days, of course, songs like Love Story and Close to You and all that. Yeah. So that genre, so I used to try to figure out and try to play those songs, and slowly that piqued my interest.
Okay.
And I began to want to play more. And my brother also, although he's not a pianist, he plays a little bit of guitar, and he's not a musician. He ended up being an English lecturer, but his love for music rubbed off on me, because he had this whole collection of jazz records in the 60s that he was playing at home.
Okay.
And so I was kind of influenced through osmosis, I guess. Yeah.
All right.
But all these jazz records going on, Thelonious Monk, Coleman Hawkins, all happening in the house. But I didn't know who this artist was, but and it began that.
So when was your first ever public performance?
First ever public performance, believe it or not, I think you're gonna laugh,
Okay.
It was in a rock band. Believe it or not.
Okay, wow, that's something I don't know about you. Yeah, Boni. Okay.
And
so tell us about it.
This is another little story that you'll be surprised. You wouldn't guess who was in this rock band, because Stephen Rufus as a wonderful saxophone player,
yes, jazz man,
very entrenched in the scene as a jazz artist.
Correct. Yeah.
My goodness, he was the rock guitarist in my band.
Oh my God. Stephen Rufus. Yeah.
Stephen Rufus was a rock guitarist.
He's Mr. Cool
And
Jazz
I always remember him for spoiling my right ear, because he's blasting his amp in my ear.
All right, Stephen, if you're watching this, now we know about about you and your guitar.
But he was a cool and really, really heavy rock guitarist at that time.
Okay.
We were in secondary school. I was like I was in, I think, pre-U1. Pre-U1. And he was a little younger than me, so he's in Sec 4. And we used to go in have jam sessions, and they put me into this band, rock band. We call ourselves the Stained Fingers. I don't know who thought of that name, Stained Fingers.
We're getting a lot of gems here. All over. Yeah, beautiful stories. Okay.
And I remember in the 70s when we did a gig. Our first gig was at the Hyatt Hotel for some company event.
Okay.
And we were a heavy rock band. Our version of the heavy metal in those days.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we were into things like Deep Purple, Led Zepp, Black Sabbath, and all this heavy stuff. I don't know how I went there, probably because of the excitement of the music. and we played for some company events with some agent, looking to manipulate us, use us for some gigs, and pay us peanuts.
That sounds awfully familiar. I won't go into that, but yeah.
Well, it was already beginning then.
Okay.
So that was our first gig, playing for this event at Hyatt. And then after that, we did some public shows, public performances, road shows, and things like that.
Right.
Some outdoor concerts that they organized, and we were there. But those days were tough. Carrying instruments, setting up our instruments,
right.
helping to carry amplifiers, putting on stage, and then after that playing. Those were tough days.
Yeah, I remember.
But I'm sure you can attest to that. You've been through that too.
Yeah, I've been with you also for I think 25 years maybe. We've
Wow,
been playing
yeah.
on and off together.
A long way,
And I can remember those early days as well. They were,
And I remember the 5 Cs when you recorded in my studio. That was a blast. We had people all coming in, right?
That's right. A whole assembly, a whole all-star cast coming in. And so coming back to you, after your first public performance, how about your first professional stint?
Yeah, the first professional stint, actually I owe it very much to my cousin Terence de Souza. A wonderful man, a wonderful pianist too. He spent about 35 years in the broadcasting
MediaCorp,
arena,
right?
MediaCorp, and before that SBC.
Uncle
He
Terence,
started off in RTS, Radio Television Singapore.
Right.
On radio days, he was already featured. Yeah, that man is quite a legend in his own right.
So how was it like as a working musician, in the 70s, and was it very competitive?
I think not as competitive as now, because talent was really in demand. My first professional gig, I was still in the army. I was in the music and drama company, and I moonlighted. Now it's 30 years later, so I wouldn't get into trouble. So I moonlighted playing at the then hotel known as Mingkot Hotel. Now it's called Orchard Parade, I believe.
Oh, yes. That's right.
So I was playing with this trio of violinists, a wonderful violinist named Julai Tan.
Wow.
And a wonderful bass player, also very established musician, Frisco Soriano, who's migrated to Australia. Julai Tan, just to mention, I played for him. He had an award, a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Composers and Authors Society. So a couple of years back when I did that show, I accompanied him and he was awarded this Achievement Award. So we played at the Mingkot Hotel, and that was my first gig, recommended of course by Terence. And I was the baby in the group because the other guys were over 40 and I was 18.
Okay. And Boni, you're known as a multi-talented, you're a composer, of course.
Thank you.
Arranger, and also later on in life, you were doing also your own musical agency. You're a music agent as well. And
that was a long time ago, in the 80s. In the 80s, when things were better.
Oh, you don't do any more band agency work?
I gave up agency work because of the cutthroat competition, and because as I got into agency actually by chance. I was working in a few hotels. When I left the army, I was in the Sheraton Hotel as a solo pianist. I worked there for 10 years, by the way. And also, at the same time, I was in the Hyatt Hotel. Worked there also for about 8 years. And during my term in these two hotels, I gained the trust of the management. So they wanted me to recommend reliable music talent to fill up all the outlets. So it was a natural progression from musician to talent scout. So I had to look for good talent to fill in all these, and so I naturally progressed to opening a little company called Savoir Faire. Savoir Faire in French means doing the right thing at the right time. So that was my mantra.
It's pretty much, pretty much it.
So then I began bringing in musicians to all these hotels, and I did the agency work for about 10 years. But I wanted to be someone who's fair to the musicians, because I got ripped off when I was young. Yeah. Everybody's coming and giving you peanuts and making you work
and
hard.
on that note, I have to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, because Boni has been my agent for many years, and you've always been fair with me and my band.
Thank you.
And really, it was a joy to work with you. In all the contracts that we had.
That's what I look forward to. You remember the gig we got in Studio Bakers? When Studio Bakers first opened in Singapore in the 90s,
correct.
The GM somehow got my contact from somewhere, and he came and approached me to get entertainment for the whole outlet. And I connected him with Farid.
Oh, that was a high profile show, high profile gig, and very quite pressurizing as well. But it was good.
It was fun.
Definitely. So then we've going musician, as I mentioned, music agent and all that. We come on before I move on to the next one. I want to ask you about the studio production work of it, Savoir Faire.
Okay, Savoir Faire, we opened a studio in Sim Lim Square, and our focus, actually the initial idea to open a studio came about when, as a session musician, because I worked in the big studios as a session musician for WAA, for BMG and all these other big labels, doing session work, accompanying artists, and also for Chinese production companies. It was a booming time for Chinese production companies. So I was just a session man, go there, play piano. They will give me the 1, 2, 3, and you got to fill in the blanks. And we played for so many wonderful artists and a lot of foreign artists. Even I played for Teresa Teng at that time. She recorded some stuff in Singapore, and we did a lot of wonderful things. So I realized that the cost of going to a studio was very, very expensive. And local musicians who wanted to do their own original composition just couldn't afford it. So the idea came to me that, it's a very interesting new workplace, and let's start a studio. So I started a small studio, Savoir Faire Studios, at Sim Lim Square, just one small unit with a room and a live room plus a recording room. That's where we put all our machines and all that to record. And that's where I first met Farid.
That's right. That's where we met actually, because you were part of the Big O program, right?
Big O, yes,
There was a movement called Big O, a magazine actually, underground music scene in Singapore, and they decided to come up with a compilation CD, and I was one of the artists appearing in it, and that's where we met.
That's where we met, Big O came about because of Michael Chia. He was a schoolmate of mine. We didn't really keep in touch until I think he heard about me setting up this studio. Then he approached me. And said, "Hey, look, I'm doing this magazine promotion for all the local original artists." Patrick Ching, remember, was one of the artists.
He was the and he was the engineer or co-engineer.
The engineer was Shah Tahir.
Shah, yes, correct.
Shah Tahir. Patrick Cheng came in.
Pat was there for the sessions here.
So
and then we had a whole gang of musicians coming in to record my song, The 5 C's, if you can remember.
What a wonderful
20 backup singers. Those are the days, my God.
You've been always the man with a lot of following. Everywhere Farid goes, a following goes. He's got a whole system. He's like he's got his own ecosystem following him around.
Now I'm embarrassed. Okay. All right, Boni. On that note, how many songs are you going to perform for today?
About 4 songs or so.
And why don't we move on to the next song?
Sure.
And what's the title of this next song?
We like to introduce Wendy for this next song, because we did an album for Wendy in 1997. It was called Busy Doing Something. Busy Doing Something. You got a CD for it? You just want to show the CD?
Okay, then here we go.
All right. Busy Doing Something. Now, Busy Doing Something was a thematic CD. We focus on Latin jazz, because in Singapore no one had recorded Latin jazz before, and they've recorded Latin but not Latin jazz fusion. And that's Wendy lying down on the congas, having a little bit of time out between sessions.
Very seductively, am I?
All right. So this one, I featured Wendy on all the tracks, and this is a bossa nova that I composed years before. Didn't have chance to record. It was called Bossa for You, and we'd like to feature Wendy on this one.
All right. So, Bossa for You, Boni de Souza featuring Wendy Lowe. All right, Bossa for You. Right, Boni. Wonderful tune, and
Thank you for it.
I can't help thinking that it was somehow written for Wendy.
For you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm going to ask get a little bit more personal right now. How did you guys meet?
How did we guys meet? All right. Actually, we met at a wedding. I was playing for this wedding gig.
All right.
Okay. In Sheraton. I won't say when. I don't want to give away an age.
Okay.
Wedding gig in Sheraton, so I was playing piano, so I was getting a little bit bored, and then everybody was starting to talk. So I started doing my own thing. I was doing a bit of Chick Corea. So I was going on my own, having fun just with myself.
Chick Corea.
Yeah, Chick Corea. I was playing Spain. I was playing Spain. Then suddenly I got this note, this card came to me. Thank you for the lovely music. I said, hey, how come this person likes Chick Corea? I said, either they musically inclined or they a bit way off. All right. So I turned around and I saw this Wendy Low. Oh, she was working in a real estate company. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I asked the waitress, who is this? And so she pointed out to me, the nice lady with the white dress. She was assisting the bride. Her friend, I think a very good friend, was the bride. So then when I had my chance, I went up to thank her and to say, thank you for the appreciation. And then I got to, because she gave me a card, so I got the phone number there, right? So anyway.
So in other words, Wendy made the moves on you, not the other way around, right?
I wouldn't say she made the move on me, because she didn't call me, because I didn't give her my number.
Okay.
But one day, this was at about the time when I had quite a serious accident with my previous car. It was one of the Renault sports cars, and crazy me at that young impetuous age, I was driving at a ridiculous speed. I won't say how much because the LTA might be watching this.
Okay.
Yeah, so the car crashed, and it was a total car. Yeah, 7 months. It was a brand new car, and it was total. So I was trying to find out how to get this reimbursement or insurance done.
Okay, right.
So I look at the card and it says City Valuers. I say, hey, she values things, man. Yeah. So I called her up and said, Wendy, do you think you'll be able to do a valuation on the car and what the value is? She said, valuation on the car. We are property valuers, not car valuers.
Okay. But so you took the opportunity to meet her anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, that started the ball rolling, right?
Right. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Sure.
If the camera can pan on Wendy, we can see her really blushing right now. So that's a wonderful story. And again, we're getting beautiful gems and snippets of stories that we don't normally hear, and it's great. It's great to hear all the stories. I want to move on to a slightly more serious topic right now, Boni.
Yep, sure.
And this was we had that awful tsunami in 2006.
Oh yes.
And what actually you were asked to be a part of the movement to raise awareness and some charity work for the fund called One Voice, I think it was.
Yes, One Voice. Yeah.
Hold this up if I can show it to you.
This happened because the former EA chairman. Sorry to say this, but the late EA chairman. I seem to be dealing with a lot of late people.
Davenport, I think. Is
Brian,
that right? Brian Davenport, yeah.
You know Brian, right?
I know. Brian, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, Brian, we happened to meet in a committee. I was in this committee for Harmony Nite, a committee that was trying to promote a show for racial harmony and religious harmony. Right. So we happened to meet in this committee, and he asked me, he said, hey, the tsunami thing, we must do something for these tsunami victims, raise funds. So can you do something? Can you compose a song? I said, I can try. So, and then he decided he called me down for a meeting at the Eurasian Association, and then we decided that we want to produce a whole CD and sell the CD to raise funds.
Right.
So in the CD, I included 3 of my originals, including the theme song for this, which was called In Time.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course we had some other contributors like Mel Ferdinand, who have composed a few songs, and he put it inside too. So we had a combination of a few composers, but I generally produced the whole album, produced the CD, and we sold it at the launch, and they raised quite a bit of money for the Tsunami.
Yeah, that's good. And I remember, thank you again for having me to be part of that project.
Oh, you would. I was thinking of which voices I would need for the parts, and the first two I thought of you, and of course our friend, the other singer.
Is it Fendi?
Fendi, yes, you and Fendi.
The Stevie Wonder of Singapore.
Yeah, one had a black voice and one had a rock voice. Wow, perfect for my song.
Yeah, that was a fun project. And I think we also had Rosanna.
Yes, Rosanna Galan came in, and later Eunice Olsen.
Yeah, that's
also,
right.
yeah, came in. Yeah.
So that was a really, it was a sad, how to say, subject to deal with, but it was a fun project for us as well. Really enjoyed the studio time.
Yeah.
Marcus Dangate on
Marcus
bass guitar.
The wonderful Marcus Dangate.
We had a good,
another wonderful musician. Yeah, he's now in the Himalayas.
Yes, I heard. Somewhere up in Kathmandu.
Jazz in the Himalayas, my goodness.
Bass in
I never thought that would happen.
Marcus, hopefully you're watching this, and we're certainly missing you and hoping we can gig with you real soon. So we had this project all called In Time, and I believe you've prepared the song for today.
Yeah, and of course we want you to sing.
I will try and do my best.
And Asman is going to back you on a couple of the lines.
All right.
Ooh, yeah. Baby. In time, we'll build a better place. In time, we'll build a brighter day. If we all work together, we will indeed, we will succeed. Someday you'll be a memory, and deep in our heart, soon we'll have the chance to say you're caring what it's all about. This is the time. Do what we can.
Do what we can.
This is the place.
This is the day.
To help our friends.
Yeah, to help our friends.
The more we give.
The more we give.
The more we'll the more we receive. But this is just what friendship is. Ooh, yeah. No, baby. Ooh. No, if we can't participate, we're gonna walk towards that time. Yeah. We can, and we'll succeed in this. 'Cause caring what's all about, yeah. 'Cause this is the time.
This is the time.
Do what we can. To do what we can, and this is the place.
This is the day.
Help our friends.
To help our friends.
The more we give,
The more we give.
the more we'll receive. And this is just what friendship is. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, take it out.
And I know this is the time. Do what we can. This is the place to help our friends. The more we give,
The more we give.
the more we receive. This is just what friendship
Wonderful. Great.
Let me catch my breath for a second. Well, and that was again, Boni. I gotta thank you for being making me a part of the project. It was great fun being on the album, and it was also great fun performing at the shows that we did for this album.
Yeah.
And there was another movement that we did. You mentioned the multiracial, religious movement.
Yeah. The multi-religious movement. It was called Harmony Nite. In 2004, my good friend Brian Richmond happened to be called upon to act as presenter for this Harmony Nite show, which is a mega show. It was going to be organized at the Expo, and they were going to invite like 5,000 people, including the president, who was going to be the patron, the president of Singapore, and a lot of VIPs and so on and so forth. So he, at that time, we used to do quite a bit of shows together. He would be doing the show, presenting, and he would need a music director. So he will call upon me in like, for instance, the NUSS anniversary and things like that.
Okay.
We will do shows together, and I will do all the music for him. He will do the presentation, and we made a great team. It was a wonderful time.
Yeah, I remember, and it went on for 4 years. We were doing the show.
Yeah. And remember the first one, all the tension just to set up and the stage was delayed.
Yes.
Sound equipment was delayed. We didn't have enough practice.
Yes, I remember. Wow, that was the band, the whole
Stress.
band, right? And it was a big band, mind you.
25-piece band.
25 band. We had the one section with erhu, pipa, and all the Chinese instruments, and one side Tamil percussion. And then of course electric, and it was fantastic. What a fantastic feeling!
And we had Tony Z on drums.
That's right.
Marcus Dengate on bass.
Yeah.
We had 8 strings. We had a whole brass
That's
section
right.
with Leo Gio playing trombone. Wonderful trombone
Robert
player.
Nalin, I think, on percussion.
Robert Nalin and on percussion. And we was playing tabla and percussion,
right,
because
right.
it was a combination of ethnic and
right.
Western instruments. And we had Greg Lyons playing saxophone. One of the years, Greg Lyons came in.
Yeah.
Stephen Rufus was there, of course. Fabian
Who's who of everybody.
all the wonderful musicians were there. Yeah,
and also myself. Thank you very much for allowing
Of course,
me.
you were there. You were there, and you were playing guitar. For some, actually, you weren't with the band. You were featured.
Oh yeah,
you were
that's right.
featured with 3 other singers.
That's right.
Remember Don Ho?
Don Ho, that's right.
Yeah, and also Angela Brown.
We did the Dick Lee song. I think we covered the song, the Home.
Home also, we did also that.
one,
Yeah, that wonderful song. By the way, Dick Lee was my classmate. Yeah,
Okay,
so
right.
I got to take my hat off to him for
Writing that
his
song.
wonderful compositions. Yeah, setting the path for a lot of composers here.
All right.
And you remember the late Ali Ahmad,
Yes,
another
of
late
course. He's a dear friend. Yeah.
dear friend. Yeah, Ali Ahmad. Oh, he had a wonderful voice
we miss
too.
him
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
So, do you want to play the track?
Yes, by all means.
Oh, you don't have, yeah. Okay, yeah. Maybe okay. Let's feature. Let's go on to something, because we've done jazz.
All right.
We've done a little bit of a ballad, yeah. And let's feature our special guest, probably. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Since you brought it up, as I mentioned earlier, we've got a very special guest for you this afternoon, everybody out there. And as I mentioned, the next generation in the De Souza musical dynasty.
Wow. Okay.
Would everybody
nice.
here and everybody out there in Soft TV land give a warm welcome and a
Hey,
round of
Bonita.
applause to Bonita De
And wave to
Souza.
your friends, all your best friends.
We hope
All
your
right.
classmates are watching.
Bonita, just to mention this, Bonita is from CHIjAZZ Primary. Yeah. Just to.
I hope you did well for your PSLE.
She did quite well, and we were happy. And the last day of school, the principal and the teacher made her perform on stage. She was alone.
Wow.
And she's going to do the same song that she did in the show. She's going to do something, and this is going to be a first, because Farid is going to sing with her. Yeah.
Wow, I'm nervous. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to do a variation and a take of Queen's classic Bohemian Rhapsody, and original material by Boni and Bonita as well. So take it away.
Pull my trigger now, he's dead. Mama, life had just begun. Now I'm gone and thrown it all away. Mama, didn't mean to make you cry. I'm not back again this time tomorrow. Carry on. All right, wonderful stuff.
With us.
My pleasure, and featuring the next generation of the De Souza dynasty. Bonita, were you nervous playing for your school, Bonita? You can speak into the mic, you know.
Yeah,
You can, yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah.
You were nervous? Well, just to let you know, not to scare you or anything, but we normally have about 4,000 viewers watching Soft TV. So I think that so far a pretty good audience for you. And and you know, you did beautifully. You performed wonderfully. And,
Wonderful, Bonita.
let's give everybody a round of applause for Bonita. Wonderful stuff, and we certainly hope to see you with your parents. Kids, wonderful stuff. So Bonnie, I want to come back. You've been involved in so many projects,
Yes,
so
yes,
many
quite
albums
a
as well.
bit, yeah.
Maybe I'll hold up a few more of your albums, for
Yep,
example,
yep, sure.
like this one, and you can quickly tell us about it.
All right. Our favorites was a compilation of various tunes that we like,
Okay.
and it's jazz and bossa nova. It wasn't a thematic album like Busy Doing Something, where we focus on just Latin jazz. But this one is a combination of jazz and Latin, and even some more commercial kind of songs. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
okay.
So this was done in, I think, 2001, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
And recorded in Several Fair Studios.
Also recorded in Savar Fair
Okay.
Studios.
And we've got another one here of I think Wendy again.
This is
interesting one.
another interesting story,
Yep.
because this harpist,
Yeah.
a wonderful harpist, I must say, a good friend of ours,
Okay.
Katrina Tan. She has made a mark and has won Young Artist of the Year.
Okay.
Awarded the honor in none other than in the Istana, and she has started her own school. Katrina Tan, if you're out there, it was a pleasure working with you. I happened to discover Katrina by chance when she came to Singapore. She was from Malaysia originally. She came to Singapore and she was playing in a quiet place in Shangri-La Hotel. This is the other album. She did a solo album,
right?
Harp On,
Okay.
which is a wonderful album. She did a solo album.
Katrina.
Yeah, I went down to Shangri-La. I was looking for someone to record with Wendy to conceptualize a harp and flute album.
Okay.
So I went down to Shangri-La during the tea time and listened to her play, and I said, "Oh, this is a wonderful harpist." And by the way, Katrina is an architect by training.
Oh, so I see. So she
multi-talented.
She's not a full-time musician. She
is a full-time musician. She's put architecture, award-winning architecture aside.
Wow.
She won an award in a school, in Australia.
Wow. Parents out there, if you're watching Soft TV right now, this is a prime example
someone
for you.
to be proud of. So anyway, she just had the desire to pursue music studies, and after our first recording, the Little Light Music, you want to show them?
This one? Yeah.
No, Little Light Music, the white one.
The white. Okay, sorry. Let's go back to
okay. After this first recording, Katrina decided to go to the States and do a master's in music.
Wow.
So she went to Ann Arbor University and did a master's in music. Came back and started her own school, a school of harp. And she's garnered a huge following in Singapore.
Wow.
I think she's the most outstanding harpist here. And it was a pleasure working with her. And the other album that I worked on, which is also a pleasure, was something called I Belong to You. This one was a gospel album that I worked on and produced, and I was asked to compose a song.
All right.
Yeah. So the song is named Blessings and Wishes. It's a kind of a send-off song, and it's a wonderful song. And in this, I work the director, or rather the initiator of the album, was someone known as in the community as Father Richards. Right. So he was raising funds for the church. Yeah. So when he approached me through Patrick Lee from Speedway.
Okay.
Yeah. Came to my studio, talked to me about doing this album. So I was really very keen. And I was working just purely on a commercial base. I wasn't doing a charity thing, but it really touched me, this album. And Blessing and Wishes came out from that album. If you got the track, you can play for them. It will be great. Blessings and Wishes. It's on SoundCloud.
Okay. Do we have a SoundCloud available?
You don't have okay.
No, it's okay. We'll put it up in.
We'll put it up later on. Anyway, it's on my Facebook site.
Okay. We have one more here. This one, I believe you may have produced it. This one is Heritage.
This is another production which I'm really proud of. In 1994, I wanted to do a variety of different music, and I wanted to produce a rock album. So who other than to approach my good friends, the Heritage,
right?
Edward Jensen, Ashley, and Gordon, the brothers who were the core group of the Heritage. Right. Of course, with the original guitarist, Francis Poe was no longer with them, Chris Ong was with them at that time. And I went down to the gig that they were doing, the regular gig at Center Point, just to hear them. And when I heard in that small little lounge there or bar, and I heard that sound, I really liked that sound, and I wanted to capture that sound on tape and do an album with them.
Yeah, because Heritage, they were pretty radical. They were like progressive rock, I think. You asked me.
They were the pioneers of original music.
They were out there, you know.
Rock music, in Singapore.
Especially Edwell with his harp playing and his violin. It's really out there. And I you know, we used to do some shows, me and Edwell.
Okay. You're not related to Edwell, by the way?
No, not related. But we used to do shows, and we do the circuit, and we get to talking, and wow, he's pretty deep. Yeah. And I believe he was also involved with you for the Blues for Schools.
Oh yes, that was a wonderful experience. I'm also involved after my long sojourn in music recording and things like that. I went into music education in 2004, about 10 years back. Okay. Yeah. So because I did teach in Yamaha a long time ago, but I was young. I wasn't really into music education. So after all that 25 years of experience working the scene, doing productions, I wanted to come back into music education and also share all the experiences with the young people. Yeah.
All right.
So I happened to have the opportunity at one national pre-National Day show that I was doing. Someone from the ministry approached me and said, "You want to do shows for schools?" I said, "Why not? I think this is a new area I can explore." So I went into doing programs, creating programs for National Arts Council, and My first program was Jazz for All. Had a jazz band and promoting jazz music. Then later on, I was adding more programs. I had a Latin program. I had a jazz workshop, and I wanted a blues program. So who else to look for in a blues program? Edward is the man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Plays harp, plays violin, sings, and plays slide guitar. So I've got him down on a demo, which I put it on my Facebook site also.
Okay.
If you want to check it out, and Edwell came in and did this blues program with me, and it was a wonderful program, and the kids loved it. Our last show was at the CHIjAZZ secondary, and for the last song, we wanted to hype up the whole program by showing how blues has progressed into pop music. And we did a version of Stevie Wonder's Superstition. And the girls scream for more.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. You can see it on the video. They were screaming.
Yes.
Until the senior or the VP came and said, I think girls, we have to shift this section to that section.
Cool down. Yeah, I mean, let's face it, Edwell was one of a kind. He was a fantastic musician, and he's dearly missed.
Dearly missed by all of us, definitely.
And you know, I've taken over his place now with you.
Yes, and you're doing a wonderful job, I might add.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I totally relate to the fact, and I understand how these kids they really enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
And
you did a show with me at St. Margaret's, remember?
That's right.
And the kids were lapping it up. They were really enjoying the show.
Or to re-quote myself with Wendy, the blues god is in town. I'm just kidding. But it was a fantastic experience. Not only because it was playing the blues, but also for a chance to be involved in musical education for the first time.
Yes.
I've always done this, from not from an education point of view, but
I think it's a wonderful experience to share our experience with the kids of today. Because they're looking for direction, they're looking for a path.
Which brings me actually to my next question, Boni. What would you do as a shout out to everybody out there, for especially the younger musicians? What kind of advice do you have for them on how to develop their career in music, how to from the playing techniques as well? Okay,
you have to develop your skill set. Everybody who's into music is musical, I believe. It's not so much developing the musical set, but you need to, if you're playing guitar, if you're playing piano, or you're playing any other instrument, you need to develop a skill set. Because when you develop that skill set, you can call upon it anytime, and your music will flow through it very easily. If you don't have a skill set, you're struggling to bring the music out from inside your head. So I believe it's important to have a skill set. Go and find a good teacher, get music lessons, develop the skill set. And one more thing, don't be afraid to shine. Don't be afraid to try new things. Because I always tell my students, I said, if you keep practicing the same thing all the time, you'll never learn anything new. You got to try new things. Take a risk. Arts and music is all about risk. Being able to take a risk to try something new. Then only you'll be able to shine.
All right.
Don't wait for things to happen. Try and make it happen.
And that would be for the real up and coming musicians. But how about people who want to make it be a professional bands, for example? And I know you're more than qualified to give advice on up and coming bands who want to go into the night scene.
Well, you need to develop a repertoire. You can't go to a gig playing 3 songs over and over again.
Of course.
You got to develop a repertoire. So a lot of bands, they got 3 or 4 songs, and it's happening. You say, this is happening. We want to look for a gig. But then you can't find a gig with 3 or 4 songs. You got to develop a whole repertoire. Yes, you shine in a few songs, yes, but you need a whole repertoire to go and do a gig. So, as they say, practice.
Yeah, that's perfect. And of course, the last aspect of it, you're from beginner to working musician to recording artist. What kind of advice would you have for anybody who's really looking into that vein?
I guess it's all about focus.
Okay.
All about knowing what you want to do. There's no need to follow anyone. You have a path. You create your own path, and you stick to the plan. Everybody comes out with grandiose plans. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to be famous. But they don't want to put in the hard work. You got to put in the work. the practice, and all the time needed. Yeah.
Okay, wow, that's very, very sound advice.
Thank
And
you.
yes, indeed, and I hope everybody watching in you we're giving you some helpful advice as well. Well, Boni, I think it's time to do your last song
Yes.
for the evening. And you want to tell us about the last song?
Yeah.
While we
This
do the
song
quick swap
goes
over?
out to everybody. It was composed actually in 1982, long time ago.
All right.
It's just something that I came up to try and cheer someone up, but it's applicable to to sing to your kid,
Okay.
or it's called "I Want to Make You Happy," and it's on the it's on our ODV CD, and but this time I'm going to add in some vocals. Let me try to sing. I'm not really a pro singer, but I'm going to try to sing this song because I couldn't find anyone else to sing it.
I'm sorry I couldn't sing. This song is really out of my range. Yeah, you did. And this is a tune called "I Want to Make You Happy."
Yeah, this is going out for all my good friends and family watching the show, and I hope you enjoy it. Sometimes I wonder why you cry, wonder why you're feeling so blue. Trust in me, 'cause all I wanna do is make you happy too. I wanna make you happy, but that's all I wanna do. Happy is the way that I feel for you. Sometimes I wonder why you cry, wonder why you're feeling so blue. Trust in me, 'cause I wanna be all that you just want me to. I wanna make you happy, and that's all I wanna do. Happy is the way that I feel for you.
I wanna make you happy, Boni de Souza. Well, Bonnie, we're just about about to wrap things up for this afternoon.
Sure. Yeah.
Before you go, do you have any last shout outs that you may have?
My shout out is keep playing music live. None of this can things.
Wonderful, great advice. Yeah. Do you have like a website or anything, Facebook?
Oh yes. I have a website. You can log on to my Facebook. I have CHIjAZZ.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. It's facebook.com/BDSJazz. That's
All right.
Boni de Souza.
Okay.
BDSJazz. Facebook.com/BDSJazz. Website is bdsmusic.com. And anything else?
Yeah, that's so long we get all the
that's
young,
about it. Yeah.
all the
So
new.
do connect with me. I love you, especially music fans. I love to connect with more musicians and music fans, and we see what can come out of it. That'll be great.
That's right.
Yeah.
And for those who have any problems or issues trying to get through to Bonnie, you can also get in touch with me via soft.com or through my own Facebook site.
Yeah.
And no worries, I'll put you in touch. And before you actually go, the final thing I gotta say, we like to thank Gibson Singapore.
All right.
So shout out to them for the use of their Amphone acoustic electric guitar.
It's a
for
nice
this
guitar, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I should ask them to give it to me.
Yeah, they should. Yeah. All right.
And thanks so much, Gibson Singapore, and especially
you've done justice to it.
Sorry.
You've done justice.
Thank you, Bonnie. Wow. And to Patrick Chung, of course, for making all this possible. All right, you've been listening to the sounds of Boni de Souza right here on Soft TV. And stick around in about 10-20 minutes or so. We're going to get the funky sounds of Loon coming right up for Camel for Camel Front.
Great.
So in the meantime, stay cool, relax, and chill out.
Yeah.